Human trafficking is the transportation, transfer, and harboring or receipt of persons from one country or area to another, typically for the purposes of forced labor or sexual exploitation. St. Lucia has been placed on the Tier 2 watch list by the U.S. Department of State as the government has not fully met the minimum standards for the elimination of counter-trafficking, but are making significant efforts to comply with those standards. To this end, the Department of Home Affairs and National Security have officially launched a counter-trafficking public awareness campaign. The slogan for the public awareness campaign is Know It, See It, Report It. Felicia Brown, Gender Justice Advisor and Human Rights Advocate, urged the government to continue to invest in education on human trafficking.
Today marks a very significant development for human rights in St. Lucia. As a development state, it's critical that we as a society continue to place greater emphasis on the protection of all citizens, including citizens that are persons entering our shores. Human trafficking is rapidly evolving, and we've seen that based upon our research. We're also seeing that the use of technology is providing a lot more easy way for our potential as well as the perpetrators. So it's very important that we invest, our government invests in a lot in terms of our national security in those areas.
Human trafficking in St. Lucia is an offense punishable by law under the Counter-Trafficking Act of 2010. Perpetrators can face up to 5 years imprisonment or fines of up to 100,000 Eastern Caribbean dollars or both. The Minister for Home Affairs, Justice and National Security, Honorable Herman Guild Francis, stated that he has been in discussion with the Attorney General to align the punishment of human trafficking with the punishment of rape and manslaughter.
So we are going to be removing the fine aspect, and that you go directly to prison. In that situation, we would need the concurrence of the judges, and we do hope that the judges will understand the magnitude of the problem and give the sentence that is required.
A national task force has been established, and a number of police officers and social service agents have been trained to provide victim-centered law enforcement assistance. Resident British Commissioner Steve McCready announced that next month, a member of the UK's Immigration Enforcement International will be providing human trafficking and immigration training to St. Lucian immigration and law enforcement personnel.
All of this really demonstrates that our countries share not just the same policy objectives, but that we're actually very practically committed to working together to tackle human trafficking in all its forms. From day one here, I've said I think one of the most important parts of my role is to highlight and support and encourage areas where the UK and St. Lucia can work closely together. And I think today and this initiative and this work, I think it's a great example of that happening.
The Department of Home Affairs and National Security urges the public to call 847 or go to the nearest police station if there are any suspicions of trafficking. From the Government Information Service, I am Anicia Antoine reporting.